Whoa, those look so good. Okay. All right. So, the shoes that I ended up getting for myself for my birthday, and I think that I'm going to use for the Indianapolis Marathon are these are the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s in the Galaxy colorway. Now, that last clip you just saw was actually almost a week ago on my birthday. The shoes showed up early and I tried them on, and I immediately got disappointed because they felt too small. Now, I've never run in shoes like this, so I don't know if maybe those were actually the right size and they're supposed to be tight fitting, but the reason I run in Newtons is because they don't feel tight fitting. They have a wider toe box and they're comfortable. Now, I don't want to run the race in the Newtons because lately my feet, my left arch, my right Achilles ankle area, they just haven't been feeling very great. And as I'm stacking up the mileage, trying to go for about 60 miles this week, I just wanted to see, I got curious. I wanted to see if these shoes would, with the extra cushion but also the carbon plate, I just want to see how they feel. I want to see if the experience in running is going to be better just than it has been in the past couple months. It's really not felt great. Every run has just not felt great. So today, this is the day before my big run tomorrow, my last big run, 22 miles. I just want to come to the track, not beat the shoes up too much, but run in them, see what they're all about, do about 5 or 6 easy miles, and just get a feel for these shoes before I blast 22 miles on these things. And make the decision today whether I'm going to run in these or my Newtons for my long run and probably the actual marathon. So it is quite chilly today. It's like 40 degrees. So I get these on as soon as possible and then put some gloves on. 'Cause it is cold, man. Alright. These suckers nice and tight. Bouncy! Very bouncy.
Very sucky.
So I'm gonna forego the runner's knot today, just for the sake of time. But I'm hoping that the experience here is gonna be just really nice. We'll see. All right, 5 easy miles to test out these shoes. See how we like them. Okay, so a few things I'm looking for here. Number one, how do they feel? I think the right one just isn't tied tight enough. Kind of iffy about that. They do feel a little more cushioned than my Newtons. It's not that big of a difference from my regular shoes, honestly. More cushion, definitely. Second thing is I'm listening to the shoes to see how they sound. I might not be using music for this marathon. And the last thing I want to hear is something like the Nike Alpha Flies. So far, these are actually pretty silent. Now the last thing I want to make very transparent is that I know an easy run like this, these shoes are not really meant for this. They're meant for higher pace runs where you're exerting a lot more force. And the carbon plate acts as a spring to then return that energy. So I might take it on the road for a minute, do some strides, see how they feel there. So I switched it up, running around the block now on the road. And so far, coming from shoes where I feel the ground a lot, and I'm running marathon pace right now, that's why I'm out of breath. But coming from shoes that have a lot of ground feel and are a lower drop, heel to toe, these feel so good to run in. I can literally feel the compression and then the spring back of the shoes, and the cushioning is so nice. There's a mile. The right shoe felt a little loosey-goosey, and it still does a little bit, but I think that's because I didn't yet have the runner's loop or whatever you call it. So changed that. Now they feel pretty locked on. Very pleasant experience. All right. It's about 3.5 miles. These shoes do feel very good. The reason I got them is because they have cushion and they felt really good when I put them on. And that's not really something that I've had in the past 6 months or so. My Newtons just have felt flat. So I'm excited for tomorrow. Got a lot more carbs to eat today. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for 22 miles with about 13 or 14 at marathon pace. All right, today is the day. It's the last big run of this marathon prep. I'm nervous, and anybody else who's run a big workout like this, you know how nervous it can be. It's kind of like race day, except without all the other people. So it's tough going into it because you know it's gonna be a big effort, but it's gonna be by yourself. So today, rocking 5 gels, just had one before this, and then I'll have a handheld, have my phone on me to get footage and some music. Quick fit check real quick. We got the new, no, I don't want to show it because I'm cold, but I'll show it later. It's a new rabbit singlet, and my chicken legs half tights, then the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s. So with that, it's time to go. I'll see you out there probably after my warm-up. Coming up on 3. Feeling iffy, man. But I got 17 or 18, 19 more to go. So that might iron out. About half a mile until marathon pace starts. I'll do 3 to 5 little bursts of speed. Keep the legs ready. Then it's time to suffer. It's gonna hurt. Stop for just a minute before these 5 to just make sure my head's right, and so just adjust my shoes, make sure everything feels okay. I think I'm ready for this. I got the perfect song for it too. Whoa, time out. That ain't my thing. Let's try a different one. That's better. The workout was planned to go like this: 5 miles easy, at whatever pace, just kind of feel it out. 5 miles at marathon pace, 4 miles marathon pace, 3 miles marathon pace, 2 miles marathon pace. In between each of those, 1 mile recovery. The first 5 miles at marathon pace, they felt a little rocky. Then going into mile 3 or so, started to feel a little better, but started to also feel harder. So I kind of worked into the pace. By that last mile, I was dying. I was ready to stop. First 5 at marathon pace down. We got a mile recovery. 4, 3, 2, and that's it. It only gets easier from there, I think. Gotta be positive about it. Whew. I try to let the heart rate come down to like 140s. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll try. In my route, I actually got to about 6 miles and then just did a big block 4 or 5 times, I think, because I knew that if I went anywhere else that I would either be facing huge downhills or huge uphills. And that's not how the race is going to be. The race is only 300 feet of elevation over 26 miles. And this run was like 630 feet of elevation or something. So more than double. All right, coming up on the next section of 4 miles. Got my heart rate down to about 150. So. Here we go. There we go. And that's a really big confidence booster. If I can hit these paces while gaining double the amount of elevation, then in the race that's 4 or so miles more and half the elevation, I think I should be able to hit those paces. Then something sort of magical happened around between mile 11 and 15. I felt in the zone. It still wasn't easy, but mentally it was a lot easier than the 5 miles that I did. Probably because I was warmed up enough to a point and I was just dead in the middle of the workout. All right. I'm actually really close to my house. It's back there, but just gonna keep going. I'm gonna do the reverse loop this time of the 4 I just did. Try to get the heart rate back down. to 150. That one felt a lot easier, the second half of it. It was definitely a push during that section because of those uphills and downhills. But again, it was a big confidence booster because that's not how it's going to be at the race. And if I can hit the pace that I need to hit during massive climbs and still be able to recover from it and keep on going at that pace, then again, it's just a massive confidence booster and tells me that my fitness is where it needs to be. Oh my God. One easy, and then two more at that maniacal pace. Crap! I know I have two more fast ones in me. So at the end of those 3 marathon pace miles, I ended at my house, just strategically, to use the bathroom, and then I wanted to hit those last 2 miles just around the block a bunch of times. And I really, really wanted to hit those as best as I could at the paces that I had set. Now for those two, I think, and for the 3 before, I think I set the pace at 6:55 to 7 minutes per mile with the goal of going under that, but not being mad at myself if I had to go 6:55 to 7 minutes per mile, because at that point I didn't realize that because I ran 12 miles on Sunday trying to get in a long run, which I didn't that past Sunday, I had actually accumulated by that point 61 or 62 miles. So I was really feeling it by that point. I did hit those paces, I think 6:57 for both of them. And that little route around my block, again, I think it's like 50 or 60 feet of elevation climbing and then descending throughout the 4 times I ran around the block. Jeez. Oh man. Oh man. That's 22. Oh, the hard ones are over. Oh my God. Oh, now we take. So I finished the workout well, maybe not as strong as I wanted to, but again, that was my highest mileage week. Not of the build, because I accidentally did a 72 mile week at one point. Again, it was a long run on Sunday and then the full week and then long run on Saturday. So I had a lot of miles jam packed within 7 days, but very good run overall, and I'm really happy with the effort. So the first thing that I want to talk about here is the shoes. They worked really well, pretty much flawlessly. I did have to stop and tie them a few times because I don't think they were tight enough. And then once my feet swelled up a little bit during the later stages of the run, I actually started to get hot spots where the laces were tied together. So that's something I'll have to kind of navigate here in the next week or so going into the marathon, but I'm definitely using these shoes for the marathon. People said that it would take some time to adjust to the carbon plates, but since I run in shoes that already have a lot of ground feel, these were a dream. They're also a little bit higher drop, and so again, running in these felt really, really good, and it didn't take any adjustments for me personally. And my feet afterward felt the best they've felt after a long run in quite a while. So now transitioning into my thoughts for going into the race and some of my thoughts about this marathon build in particular. The last 4 or 5 weeks have been just pretty stressful, more just overwhelming. Started out with the week after the Akron half, and I actually made a full video and didn't post it to YouTube. It was supposed to go up to YouTube last week, but I just didn't post it because it just didn't feel right. Just got a lot of things that have been on my mind lately and have been pretty overwhelming personally. And I think all of that stress has just culminated and started to manifest physically as not being able to recover and not being able to gain fitness where I think I should be. And so that's kind of where I am right now. I don't want that to be an excuse for me to not push as hard as I can for this marathon, because this marathon is very important to me. It's actually one of the things that's been helping me through this stressful time and stuff. And so with all that said, I want to make it very apparent that I am not going into this marathon expecting to run a sub 3. I'm not confident about that at all based on the way everything has gone during this training. Maybe if I would have seriously trained for a spring marathon and then had another build, maybe I could have been in sub 3 shape. But I think realistically, 302 to 305 is probably the more realistic expectation. And I mean, even if I go in and I run a 308, a 1 minute PR, but I feel a lot better than I did in last year, that's still a win. Now, there are a few things that could possibly make me be able to run a sub 3. One of those is my heart rate. My heart rate during this run, this training run, was between, I believe, 175 and then 180, topping out at the end of the run, where I was at the end of 22 miles, running fast, and at the end of almost 65 miles for the week. So last year, I ran the race, I believe, with an average heart rate of like 178, which is way up there. And if I can run these paces at a little bit lower of an average heart rate than I did for the marathon last year, same course, hopefully same conditions, I might just have a chance. Now, I'm not banking on that, but I am going to go into the race with optimism. Optimism that I'm going to have a good race day, that I have a great racing strategy and fuel plan, and that everything's going to go as well as it can, at least the things that I can prepare for. So with that all said, it is officially the taper, and I am very excited for the next few weeks, and very excited for this marathon coming up. So I'll have 1 or 2 more episodes from the taper, and then it'll be time for the big marathon. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to keep following along on this, right now, sub 3 journey, and I'll see you in the next run.